Have you ever wondered whether it takes a week or an entire month to harvest a field spanning hundreds of hectares? In reality, there are places where farmers can gather thousands of tons of produce in just a few short hours. What is the secret behind this massive operation? Join us on a journey to discover the wonders of global agriculture in today's video. Watermelons, the symbol of freshness, are dominating the world with a massive consumption output of 104 million tons. Behind that figure are fields where the harvest season takes place, like an uninterrupted breath. Under the scorching sun, farmers work diligently among the green rows, skillfully selecting and cutting each fruit stem. Each watermelon is passed rhythmically from hand to hand, carefully lifted onto trucks to be stacked in neat layers. In recent years, the appearance of mobile conveyor belts has turned fields into automated lines, where farmers simply place the fruit on them and the machinery does the rest. Looking at the cucumber field, it's as if a mechanical monster is devouring everything. The front system sweeps the vines and fresh green fruits into its core. In just a few short seconds, the cucumbers are separated, cleaned right on the machine, and transferred into the storage tank. Constant streams of cucumbers pour into parallel running containers, creating a seamless production line. With this technology, global cucumber production is expected to reach 100 million tons by 2026. Leaving the sun-drenched fields behind, we step into the tranquil maple forests. From mid-February to March, when the sap begins to flow, farmers drill small holes 3.8 to 5 inches deep into the trunks of ancient maple trees. A small tap is inserted, with buckets hanging beneath to catch the crystal-clear sap. Each tap can yield between 18 and 56 liters of sap per season. Since the sap is mostly water, it must be boiled for many hours to evaporate, requiring up to 43 liters of raw sap to condense into just 1 liter of quintessential maple syrup. In the U.S., amidst dense green foliage, vibrant tangerines begin to signal the harvest season. Tangerine harvesters move swiftly, their hands gently twisting the fruit or using shears to cut the stems to avoid damaging the produce, before placing them into baskets worn on their hips. Once the baskets are full, the tangerines are emptied into large bins for transportation. Behind this bustling pace are thousands of immigrant workers who earn about 50 cents for every bin of tangerines. The faster they work, the more rewarding their earnings become. Next is honey. To retrieve the full honeycombs, beekeepers use a smoker to calm the bees. Once they have retreated, each wooden frame containing honey is carefully removed to avoid damaging the delicate beeswax structure. Then, a centrifuge uses a powerful spinning force to extract the thick, golden stream of honey as it flows down. The honey is filtered through a sieve to remove impurities before being bottled. This has become a global industry, with a market value projected to reach $9.92 billion by 2025. 2025 also saw cabbage production hit the 80 million ton mark. Modern farms now rely on machinery that operates nonstop. The front cutting blades run close to the ground, and conveyor belts lift the cabbage heads inside, where rotating rollers strip away outer leaves and return them to the earth as a source of fertilizer. The cleanest cabbages then travel up an inclined conveyor belt and pour directly into storage containers. In the UK, the world's largest cider market, with over 450 producers harvesting, has been completely mechanized. The mechanical arms of the tree shaker grip the trunk tightly, creating powerful vibrations. In just a few seconds, a rain of ripe apples pours down onto the ground. The harvester then sweeps them up, clearing away leaves and dry branches before transporting them to the pressing plant. Dragon fruit is now a globally popular fruit with a market value of $680 million. Farmers usually harvest the fruit in the early morning or cool afternoon before the sun can take away the fruit's moisture. They use shears to gently cut the stem, handling each one with care so as not to break the characteristic scales. Each fruit is neatly arranged in baskets, waiting for traders to bring them to market. Inside indoor growing rooms, mushrooms are cultivated on substrate bags. When dense clusters of white mushrooms sprout, workers harvest them with skillful hands to preserve their fresh shape. The mushrooms are then cleaned, sorted, and packaged immediately. Last year, the world consumed approximately 19.65 million tons of mushrooms. In the Netherlands, vibrant tulip fields have their flowers cut off in just a few minutes. It may sound wasteful, but it is a way for the plant to concentrate its energy on the bulbs underground. By summer, harvesters will lift these bulbs to prepare for the new planting season in the autumn. Thanks to this, the Netherlands supplies between 60 and 90% of the world's tulip bulbs. China produces more than 70% of the world's garlic. Behind that are millions of harvesters working tirelessly. Blades run underground to cut roots and loosen the soil. Then, a vibrating system shakes off the dirt clinging to the garlic bulbs before trimming the leaves and transferring them into storage bins. Lettuce is grown in more than 106 countries with a lightning-fast harvest pace. Workers bend over to cut each head, placing them onto a conveyor belt, moving slowly between the rows. Within just a few minutes, the lettuce is sorted and packaged right in the field to ensure its crispness and sweetness. When the sunflowers have dried and bowed their heads, the harvesters begin their work. A single flower can contain up to 500 seeds. Specialized headers with 8 parallel rows cut the flower heads, separate the seeds inside the machine, and pour them into high-capacity containers. The world produces 34.1 million tons of spinach every year. The machine's wide blades cut close to the base to avoid bruising the leaves. Then, a powerful airflow blows the vegetables through a discharge chute into the storage bin at the back. With over 100 million tons produced annually, sweet potatoes are harvested using hard steel plows that gently lift both the soil and the tubers to avoid scratching their delicate skin. After the vines are removed, the qualified potatoes are sent for consumption. When mentioning the Middle East, most of us immediately think of giant oil fields, luxurious megacities, or arid deserts stretching to the horizon. But there is a truth that will surprise you. The agricultural industry in this harsh region is booming with a value surpassing the $110 billion mark annually. To achieve that massive figure, people must face the harshest challenges on the planet, temperatures frequently exceeding 50 degrees Celsius, water scarcity, and barren land. So, what is the secret behind the vast fields in the heart of the desert? It is a combination of traditional manual techniques and the giant leaps in automation technology. Join us as we begin the journey to discover the harvesting processes of the most valuable agricultural products in this land right now. The first stop is Egypt, the world's leading country with an annual output of nearly 2 million tons of dates, accounting for nearly 1/5 of global production. Harvesting dates is not just a job, it is a test of courage. Look at these towering date palms, many of which can reach heights of over 20 meters. At that altitude, the wind blows strongly and the trunk sways. Yet the harvesters use only a simple set of ropes or a climbing belt to scale them. The technique here requires absolute precision. They do not cut indiscriminately. Each bunch of fruit is checked for ripeness, color, and sugar content right at the top of the tree. Once a desired bunch is selected, they use a pulley system to lower them to the ground very slowly. Why not let them fall? Because the skin of fresh dates is very delicate. Even a small scratch can cause the fruit to oxidize and lose its export value. On the ground, another team receives sorts and puts them through a natural sun-drying process to concentrate their quintessential sweetness. Leaving Egypt, we arrive in Iran, the producer of over 90% of the world's saffron, also known as red gold. With more than 420 tons per year, this is one of the most labor-intensive agricultural industries in the world. The saffron harvest season lasts only a few short weeks in late autumn. Work must begin at 5 a.m. before the sun even has a chance to rise. Why at dawn? Because if the flowers are allowed to bloom under harsh sunlight, the precious essential oils in the stigmas will evaporate, reducing the quality of the aroma. Each saffron flower has exactly 3 red stigmas. To obtain just 1 gram of dried saffron, more than 150 flowers must be manually harvested. This means that to produce 1 kilogram of saffron, hundreds of thousands of flowers must be picked and their stigmas separated by hand. This is a task that requires extreme patience. Although Iran aims to increase production to 500 tons, challenges from climate change and geopolitical tensions are posing a difficult problem for maintaining the monopoly of the most expensive spice on the planet. In Iran, alongside saffron, almonds are also a strategic commodity with a production output of up to 170,000 tons. Unlike the meticulous nature of saffron, almond harvesting on large farms is a performance of mechanics. Specialized tree shakers grip the tree trunks tightly. Within just 3 to 5 seconds, thousands of ripe almonds rain down like a shower onto massive pre-laid tarps. However, in steep mountainous regions where machinery cannot reach, farmers still maintain the traditional harvesting method using wooden poles. They gently tap the branches to let the fruit fall without damaging the flower buds for the next season. After harvesting, almonds are sun-dried for 3 to 5 days so that the outer hull dries and splits open naturally. This is a crucial step to reduce moisture and prevent mold before being sent to automated sorting plants. Next, we arrive in Turkey, the kingdom of figs with an annual output of over 350,000 tons. Turkey has taken full advantage of the Mediterranean climate to produce figs with the highest natural sweetness in the world. Figs are one of the most sensitive fruits. They do not ripen further after being picked. So, farmers must choose the exact moment when the fruit reaches the right softness and its characteristic color change. The picking process must be extremely gentle. Workers use their hands to lightly twist the fig so the stem detaches without tearing the juicy flesh. Any bruise will cause the fig to spoil in just a few hours. The most interesting part is the drying process. After being sorted, the figs are placed on large wooden trays. Under the heat of the dry air, the water inside the fruit evaporates, and the sugar concentrates to form a natural white powdery coating on the outside. This is the gift from nature that Turkey exports to all 5 continents. Along the lush green valleys of the Middle East, oranges and tangerines are the staple crops. Despite the development of machinery, For fruits with peels containing many essential oil sacs like oranges, hand-picking remains the #1 priority. Workers use cloth bags worn on their chests to shorten the drop distance and prevent bruising from impact. Each orange is cut close to the stem so as not to scratch other fruits when they are crated. This process ensures the highest aesthetic quality for the product. The oranges are then sent to packing centers, where they are cleaned by misting systems and coated with a thin layer of wax to maintain freshness longer during international transport. Lemons in this region have an interesting characteristic thanks to smart irrigation techniques. Lemon trees can bloom and bear fruit almost all year round. When harvesting, farmers do not just look at the yellow color of the peel. They check the plumpness of the skin to know if the juice content inside has reached the desired level. Using specialized shears instead of hand plucking helps protect young buds, ensuring the tree continues to bear fruit for the next crop in just a few months. Despite the massive production, domestic demand in the Middle East is extremely high, forcing the lemon industry to constantly race to meet the market. Returning to Egypt, we see an overwhelming sight in the eggplant fields. With nearly 2 million tons per year, Egypt makes this vegetable an indispensable part of regional food security. Curiously, despite the industrial-scale production, the harvest remains purely manual. Farmers walk along the rows of plants using sharp knives to cut the eggplant stems in just a second. The secret lies in speed and the preservation of the glossy purple skin. The eggplants are packed into large baskets and transported on the same day to maintain their crispness and characteristic flavor before reaching family dinner tables. If eggplant harvesting is manual, then industrial tomatoes are a completely different story. Across fields spanning hundreds of hectares, tomato harvesters operate like tanks. These machines pass through, uprooting the entire tomato plant and feeding it into a separation system that uses vibration and screening. Infrared sensors on the machine can distinguish colors, automatically rejecting green or damaged fruits and keeping only the standard red ones. One machine can replace the labor of hundreds of people, helping to achieve a yield of over 20 tons per acre. This is how desert countries supply raw materials for the global ketchup and canned tomato production industry. Harvesting pomelos presents another challenge weight. A ripe pomelo can weigh between 1 and 2 kilograms, and its stem is extremely sturdy to hold the heavy fruit on the branch. Harvesters often have to work under the scorching sun on tall ladders. They are not allowed to let the pomelos free fall, as internal bruises will ruin the flavor of the entire fruit within just a few days. The skill of cutting the stem and catching the fruit with one hand while balancing on a ladder requires the flexibility and years of experience of skilled farmers. In vast vineyards, a portion of the yield is sold fresh, but the majority is transformed into raisins, a key export commodity. The drying process takes place right in the vineyard. Grapes are spread on special plastic or paper trays. The Middle Eastern sunlight not only evaporates the water, but also triggers the sugar conversion process, creating the dark brown color and intense sweetness of the raisins. After about a week of sunbathing, the grapes are collected, cleaned of dirt, and packaged. This is a prime example of leveraging the harshness of the climate to create added value for agricultural products. Leaving the arid regions behind, we come to the vast watermelon fields in Brazil, a country that supplies a massive amount of watermelons to demanding markets in Europe and the Middle East. Harvesting watermelons is a test of endurance. Workers stand in long lines, tossing watermelons weighing tens of kilograms from one person to another to load them onto truck beds. This is a process that is both fast and skillful, ensuring the watermelons do not crack while still achieving a harvest speed of hundreds of tons per day. Before being shipped for export, each watermelon is checked by tapping to ensure the most perfect ripeness. Finally, we head to Mexico to witness the harvest process of the blue agave, the sole raw material used to create the famous tequila. The jimadores, the harvesting artisans, use a tool called a koa, which has an extremely sharp circular blade. They must have incredibly strong hands to shave off the agave's steel-hard, thorny leaves, leaving only the core piña, which looks like a giant pineapple. An agave core can weigh between 40 to 60 kilograms and is packed with starch. After being cooked in pressure ovens, they will release the sugars necessary for the fermentation process. This is a process that combines raw physical strength with the finesse of traditional artisans. From the sweat on the tops of Egyptian date palms to the coordinated rhythms in the watermelon fields of Brazil, global agriculture is proving the miraculous ingenuity of humanity. Despite a changing climate or difficult terrain, food is still produced through perseverance and technology. Which harvesting process do you find the most impressive? Share your thoughts in the comments section.